Shitty studies and social media. So, kids, here's the deal, and there's a couple examples I can use. That scientists are paid by the pharmaceutical companies to now disprove supplements work. And even if they can't skew the data to fudge it so that they prove the theory that this pharmaceutical is better than this over the counter supplement, they simply say the title wrong because they know most of the people who use social media as an educational tool share studies that they don't understand. I can't count the number of times a week somebody throws a study in my face to prove some point that such and such is danger with, and then you read the study and it's clear, one, the fuckwad who sent you that study didn't read it, and two, they couldn't possibly understand it, and three, the data was wrong. Let me give you an example. So there's this belief that DECA is bad for wound repair. And so the doctors skewed the data because they want, here's the thing is the doctors can prescribe testosterone, they can't prescribe DECA. So they're trying to skew people away from using DECA that they get through other countries and going through their, basically these rip-off doctors who charge you $900 to be part of their program, and then they sell you testosterone cypionate, which is like the worst of all injectable anabolic steroids. It's just really shitty. It's people think, well, testosterone is the best because it's natural. Well, it's not natural. It's in a fucking bottle you're injecting in your body. That it's been chemically modified, and it doesn't work like testosterone anymore. It works more like estrogen. But all these idiots use it because their doctors told them it's okay. And the only reason why they use it is because it's the only thing they can write a script for. It's shit. So people are like, oh, DECA is bad because it's not good for tendon repair. Well, for as many studies that there are showing that DECA is bad for tendon repair, what the studies actually showed was that when you inject a rat with 10 to 15 times a reasonable dose, so we're not talking 300 milligrams in a human, we're talking about 3 grams in a human. When you use an extraordinary amount of DECA, then the tendon will have so much inflammatory mediators, it repairs slower. It doesn't mean it repairs worse. That, how does muscle grow? It works off the immune response. So a fibroblast lays down collagen fibers in a tendon to repair it. Well, a myoblast lays down muscle fibers. So what they did find, if you look in other studies, not the ones some asshole threw at me, is that the muscle tissue in the body part that has the tendon tear kept growing, or at least didn't lose mass while the tendon was repairing. So perhaps what they do is they take a rabbit, they cut its supraspinatus tendon, and then they inject one group of rabbits with DECA, the other group of rabbits without DECA. Well, one study shows that it took longer for the DECA group to heal than the no DECA group. They didn't test a moderate amount of DECA group. And so in this extreme DECA group, the tendon takes longer to heal. Well, they also showed that the muscle tissue in the rabbits that had the DECA group stayed the same, whereas the normal muscle atrophied in the other rabbit, and the amount of time for the rabbit to return to normal functioning was shorter in the DECA group. So it took longer to heal, but it recovered faster. That's one disproof. Another is the concept that steroids make you dumb. So I looked at the data on this study that steroids make you dumb. The data is not statistically significant or clinically significant. And when you look at the scatter plot, when they graph the amount of wrong answers versus the amount of steroids used over the lifetime, there's no correlation. So in other words, if someone uses steroids once or if they use it every day for 10 years, it doesn't have any relevance. Therefore, the study's complete. As you can see, there is no correlation of the number of wrong answers on the test to the increase in steroid dose over time. Therefore, the study's complete bullshit, and there's no negative correlation between steroid use and intellect. So when you take all these things and you mix it together, you see that there's a lot of studies that are false. For instance, one study says that T3 is better than T2 because they want to prescribe you T3. They don't want you buying over-the-counter T2. And the argument is it binds 100 times better to the T3 receptor. Well, yeah, T3 binds to the T3 receptor. T2 binds to the T2 receptor. So they're intentionally misleading people because they're fucking dicks trying to push their prescription meds and doing false science. So don't. Also, there's a coaching sale right now. It's almost the last day. January 7th, 2019 is the last day. It's $800 for years of coaching. That's instead of $1,800, it's $800. So $1,000 off coaching for a year. That's diet, training program, and weekly check-ins where I modify things to make sure progress perpetuates. Also, if you act now, you get $100 off of Valhalla Labs products via a coupon code. It's worth a shot. Definitely a good deal. Best deal you're going to get anywhere because it's me. Give the gift of Todd.